technology that we have today. So things will be all good.
That's right.
Right on. Oh, one
Um,
more thing.
yeah.
My girl is back.
Hey,
Yay!
everyone.
Okay, so I kind of been missing my co-host, and man, I'm telling you, I'm so glad that she's back because takes some of the weight off your shoulders, you know. So
It definitely feels good to be back. It's been a while. I've been on a couple of vacations and doing some personal things, but I'm happy to be back. Happy to be with you, and just happy to be with the Genesis Radio family. So, of course, I am grateful for love, life, happiness, abundance, and all that good stuff that we have that make up this thing called life. So, thank you all.
right on. So this evening we have a young man. I'm going to say his first name because I had a little trouble with his last. He has a certain way of pronouncing it, so I'm going to let him pronounce it. Since we were talking about family, this young man right here is very much into family. So much he loves homes. So without further ado, we're going to let him introduce himself.
Good evening. My name is Kamil Murawski, and I am the owner of Pocono Cash Home Buyers, a local real estate investment firm in the Poconos.
How long have you been in business here?
I have been in real estate for 2.5 years.
2.5 years. Wow. So
Yep.
you've sold quite a few homes while you're here.
We've done a lot of transactions.
Right.
Yes.
I just want to ask you. I know you're real big in the family. So was that your passion to get into this?
Originally, no.
No. What was your passion?
uh, Originally, I got into real estate for finances.
Oh,
Um, but then it turned into a passion to help others that are in trouble or in need of help with their real estate transactions.
that sounds like a worthy cause. So the type of real estate that you're in, you don't really have a license. Is that true?
No, we do not obtain a license. We buy houses for cash. We buy them as is. We buy in any shape. We pay all the closing costs. We take care of literally everything you can imagine. And the number that we give you, unless you owe mortgage, back taxes, or anything else,
Right.
that's what you walk away from at the closing table.
Well, right now there's kind of like a housing shortage in Pennsylvania, isn't that? Does that make it more difficult for you as a buyer and a reseller?
There is somewhat of a shortage that's starting to kind of slow down a little bit. It does not so much give us issues because we look more for like distressed properties or
Mhm.
properties that we can add on to and generate more value. And those are pretty much the properties that we look for.
All right. Well, you were a minute ago you were having a discussion about a home that you bought off a young man, and he wanted a certain amount of money,
Hmm.
but he actually you gave him more.
Yes.
To tell us a little about that story.
So a gentleman reached out to me selling a 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom home. And I looked at the property, and as promised, we gave him a cash offer. And our cash offer came in at 57,000. The property was in really, really rough shape, basically like a full gut, full rehab. Septic needs to get repaired. And when I gave him my cash offer, and we opened title, we did all the legalities, he actually reached out to me and said, "I was going to sell you the house for 45."
Right.
But I told him, 57 was our number. That's where we were comfortable at. So he ended up making more at the closing table, and the numbers still worked for us.
So as a family man, you try to maintain honesty.
Absolutely. Without honesty, there's no point to be in business.
How many children do you have?
I have two kids. I
So,
have a 8-year-old son
mhm.
and an 8-month-old daughter, which I delivered both kids.
Well, they're probably watching, so if you want to give them a shout out and say hi, so
Hi
you can say
guys.
hi to the
Hi
wife and
Phoebe,
everything.
Justina, my wife Justina.
Right. So the financial part of it, do you end up helping our people on the financial end?
Tremendously. A lot of people that reach out to us are typically getting ready to be foreclosed on, or they have a property where they've been paying all the bills and taxes for years, have never seen the property, and some people are just going through a financial hardship and need a way out. Some people bought a new property and need to close on this one to buy their new property.
Mhm.
There's so many different scenarios that we deal with.
My question for you is, I don't know if you can divulge these numbers, but what's the highest you've ever paid for a property?
Cash,
Cash.
177,000
177.
was the highest cash purchased property.
Okay. Now it's called Pocono cash buyers, correct?
Pocono Cash home buyers.
Cash home buyers.
Yes.
Thank you. So with that, you say with cash you've only gone up to about 177,000.
Yes.
Are there other means of buying properties? How do you go ahead and do that? If it's actually more than that, do you try to go higher than that or?
So we've purchased properties with creative financing
Hmm,
where the original homeowner still has the deed and everything in his name. We agree on a number that he would like to walk away with. We'll come in, write up paperwork at the attorney's and title office. We take all the bills off of their hands so they can move forward. We will come in, fix the house, sell it, and then all the proceeds will stay with us.
got it.
But we give them money up front to help them with whatever troubles. They walk away. We take over the property, invest our money into bringing it to 2024 HGTV, and then we sell it and take that profit.
Do you do any work with maybe affordable housing? And
We
maybe,
have.
maybe the different organizations, like we've had some organizations come on, like Habitat for Humanity,
Yep.
and they build homes.
hmm
Do you do any work with them?
We do not yet. However, on my long-term goal sheet, I have where I would like to build or purchase communities for vets.
Mm.
Vets is my number one thing because I have a lot of friends that are vets. They're young, they're injured, and they have no help. They have no home, they live on the streets. So when I went to areas like Shenandoah and Pittston, and you see empty streets with empty houses that the government can fix up and provide housing for all these people, and they don't. It makes me want to make enough money to purchase the streets and create something for either Section 8 people that are in trouble. Vets is the top on my list because those are the people that fought for us to have the freedom that we have today.
Amen. Thank you for
And
that.
absolutely,
And thank you for anybody that served.
Yes.
yes.
Appreciate your service.
So that's definitely in the plan.
Just one second. Thank you again for tuning in to GenesisRadio.com. Again, my name is Kendall Stevenson. This is Shaquana Terry, and we are the Empowerment Show. If you'd like to give us a call to speak to this young man, please give us a call at 888-304-4401.
So you were speaking in regards to areas like Piston, Shenandoah. Those areas, I've gone through them. I used to work in Scranton. So I've gone through them many times. And you're right, there are blocks of vacant homes or even rundown homes that
Yep.
people actually live in.
Mhm.
Your plan to buy those types of properties, do you think that is something that the government or even the town would allow?
I have no idea yet,
Okay.
but that's definitely on the 10-year long-term plan for us to look into that, to develop homes or buy land, make communities. You know, I have a really huge vision, and a lot of it is to help others because that's what's fruitful. Is
Absolutely.
once you start helping others.
Are you one of those guys that, I don't know, they call my home, and then I swear I must get a call like every other day. Someone asking me, do I want to sell my home? You one of those guys?
I do not use cold callers. No,
Uh-huh.
no, my company does not. I used to about a year and a half ago, and we got a very negative feedback, and we refused to use cold callers.
How did they get your phone number? What is it, public or something?
It's very public. It's actually a lot more simpler than you think. There's a membership on a website that you can pay, and you can pull a list of houses, 10,000, 20,000 properties, whatever criteria you're looking for. You can send that list over, and in 24 hours, you can have phone numbers to all those people.
Really?
And then you can pay $2-3 an hour to Philippines or India, and they will cold call 10 hours a day and it bothered people like yourselves just to see, hey, are you interested in selling your home?
So with this information, do they also get the information about your home?
You can everything is public information. We can see when you purchased your home, how much you purchased your home, what's the remaining balance of your mortgage, how much your mortgage is, uh, the type of house, square footage, everything is public
I
information.
mean, but doesn't this open the door for some sort of criminality?
Absolutely, and we get a lot
Really?
of pushback from people that are like, "Where'd you get my information? You know, how'd you get my number? How'd you get my address?" And unfortunately, my Google reviews show I'm very upfront, open, and honest. Whenever I reach out to someone or someone reaches out to us, and I show them exactly how we get their information.
Is there any way that we can secure ourselves from that, or have it stopped? I mean, the guys call, I blocked the number. They call back on another number, so that's not working out too well.
So the only two ways that I know of legally that I cannot contact you is if you're on a do not mail list or do not call list. And every list that we sell send postcards direct mail to, all those lists get scanned. Because the second you do get a postcard and you're on a do not mail list, that can open a lot of legal issues.
Mhm.
How do you get on this list?
I'm guessing you have to contact the do not call and do not mail lists.
Of the people that's calling you?
I'm pretty sure it's a different entity.
Yeah, there is something that you can look up and you can get that information if you want to not be contacted by anyone else that's not a
Junk mail.
basically junk mail, yeah, like you said.
Mhm.
So you can always get on those lists, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, but for the most part they do.
I wish they worked for me because I get so much junk mail,
I'm sure.
especially when it comes from the realtors. Oh my God! And so many phone calls. It's a little annoying
Mhm.
and a little disturbing that someone can get to my information so easy.
I'm glad you're saying that because I'm very glad that we don't use cold callers.
Everything is public knowledge right now, and the information highway is just that.
Yep.
The information highway, you can find a lot of things on that. So going back to you, we had a conversation off air in regards to why you do this. You indicated that in the beginning it was due to finances, but
Sure.
now there was a sort of shift in why you actually do what you do and how you do it. Can you just elaborate on that a little bit?
So I, of course, started my journey because I wanted to make more money, and how not to make money than real estate. Um, and then I received a lead, as we call it, a seller that was in so much trouble, and that whole deal changed my life because I thought to myself, I have goosebumps. Anybody that's in that type of situation, I literally do.
Oh,
Anybody that's in that situation, if I can help them even when there's no profit involved, that is so much more fruitful to save somebody's credit, save somebody from the sheriff knocking on your door, taking you out of your own home, save somebody from embarrassment, financial trouble, ruining your credit not to be able to purchase another home. I think that meant a lot more than just the profit at the end of the day.
where did you learn how to do it? Did you education wise? How much education do you have?
So I've spent hundreds of thousands in education, masterminds, mentors, but if I'm going to be really honest to my viewers, you can find all this information on YouTube.
Okay.
So you either have the time to study or you have the money to speed up the process. However, you got to be really careful because there's a lot of gurus and masterminds that are just out there to think how to get your money from your bank account into our bank account, and they truly provide you with zero knowledge.
Mm.
So that's very, very important because there was a lot of masterminds I joined that I regretted. But everything is free on YouTube. I call it YouTube University.
Mhm.
You have to sacrifice your time and learn everything. Everything is there.
And then you were able to take that information and put it to good use.
So, then I asked energy to show me relationships and take me in a way where I can use this for the good of people. And To be honest with you, it all came to me.
Mhm.
You know, there was times I had a deal, didn't know what to do with, and there was a free meetup in Harrisburg that I went to.
Mhm.
And I went to the meetup, and that night I found an investor that was interested in exactly that property and sold it that night. So, you know, once you put your heart into something, God and the universe will show you the way and bring you the people and the relationships and everything else into your path to make it happen if you have to.
Well, you know, we were just talking about something today, earlier, that we talked about faith without works is dead.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mhm.
So that's kind of what you talking about. You got to put in the work.
100%.
Right. And
Yeah,
you're
you
going
have
to
to
have to sacrifice.
Yep.
That's
So
right.
if I was a young man and I wanted to, I don't know, do what you do, what advice would you give me?
Um, Free membership on YouTube. Start learning. I started with something that's called wholesaling.
Mhm.
And wholesaling is when you find a distressed property, you'll talk to the sellers and get the property under agreement for a certain number. Let's use 50,000 as an example.
Mhm.
Then you take that agreement and you find a bunch of investors that are willing to pay more than what you have it under contract for. So let's say I found a buyer for 70,000. I just made 20,000 in between selling a piece of paper. I never physically bought the property.
Mhm.
So we started with wholesaling, which we still do till today. There's times like right now we have 8 projects that we're renovating, and we can't take on more with manpower and everything else. But I'm not going to turn back clients that are looking to sell if it doesn't work for me and I have an investor that'll buy it.
Mhm.
We will still, I will be upfront and honest with them. I will tell them, look, either the numbers won't work for me or we have a high volume, but I have an investor that will absolutely purchase it from you. And if he gives you everything that I promised, would you move forward? And they say, yeah, we still assign contracts still today.
I know you said you like the YouTube Academy, is what you called it.
YouTube University.
Is there or YouTube University? Well, there is something with Khan Academy. That's it. Yeah. But suppose you didn't want to take that route. You actually wanted to sit in a classroom or something like that. Well, what would that be? Or
I
do you
would-
have to work for an? I know sometimes I guess you got to work under a realtor to get a license or something. What is that deal about?
So I am not a real estate agent.
Right.
So I don't know. I know I studied to take the real estate exam, and I took the practice tests and passed with flying colors, but I don't want to hold a real estate license. However, my business partner that works with me very closely is a licensed agent. So if we do get something that comes our way that doesn't make sense for a cash offer, but it's like in really good condition and we can sell in the market, we will absolutely put that house on the market for them and help the sellers.
Okay.
But if you were a young man and you didn't want to go the YouTube route, I would look up all my local meetups that are free. Meetup.com, I believe I use a lot,
Uh-huh.
and just go to the events, make friends, network, get to know people, and you know, if you have pure intentions and you're a good person, people will give you information for free.
That's outstanding.
I think that's the biggest thing because we talked about that. It's really, especially in the line of work that you do, it's important for you to have pure intentions and good intentions because one thing I know is that bad news travels faster than good news, right?
Super fast.
So with that being said, you don't want your reputation to be tarnished from one bad sale, right?
Absolutely.
So it's important for you to in your line of business to be able to give the people what they need, but also treat them as human beings. Just that, they're in some financial trouble. However,
Sure.
you're treating them as, like human beings and you care about their well-being. And I think that's missing from a lot of real estate in general. So,
So the real estate community is so big,
mhm.
yet it's really, really small. So I do business in other states as well.
Mhm.
We're in Georgia, New York, California, Pennsylvania. And I'll tell you what, when somebody does a really bad deal, at the end of the day, we're all investors. We all practically almost know each other. So when you hear, hey, listen, you know, create your own opinion, but you might want to stay away from this guy because something didn't go right, that news travels with social media today and
Mhm.
cell phones and groups and masterminds. That travels very fast. And, you know, if you go on my website, my my pictures on my website. I'm very honest, ethical. All my Google reviews show if you're not in the business to be honest, ethical, and to help people, there's no point to be in the business.
Oh. And what is that website?
It's PoconoCashHomebuyers.com, or you can Google us, Pocono Cash Homebuyers, and please read our reviews.
Suppose I wanted to call.
There's a phone number and a website on there, 570-300-4887. The quickest response would just to go on our website, www.PoconoCashHomebuyers.com, and there's a form you submit, and our team will reach out to you within 24 hours.
And again, that number is 570-300-4887.
Yes.
Damn. Go ahead. I took the memory test. I didn't do well, especially when it came to remember the numbers. You
Yeah.
ever take one of them tests?
Yeah, I have.
I didn't do very well.
Yeah, you didn't do that?
No, I didn't do well.
I'm pretty good with numbers.
Yeah, I gave, after they got to like 5, 6 numbers, I would say, so you, how many more? You know, and then you got to wait like 10 minutes before then you got to come back and the next one. I'm not good at that.
You know, we play to our strengths, right? We
Yeah,
do.
yeah,
You
yeah.
do other things well.
Yeah, well, not
There you
that.
Just not that.
Sorry about that. We took a little break.
That's okay.
But that, I mean, it sounds like, you know, if you keep going on the path that you're going on, I think that you would be very, very, a lot more successful. One, it seems like you're already successful in what you do, at what you're doing. But I have, and I don't know if I should ask this. However, it kind of is probably going in line with what you said earlier with what the list that you use. Is there a certain demographic that you reach out to more so than others?
More areas.
What areas?
I seem to concentrate on certain areas more than you can dial this thing down to bedroom, bathroom, square footage, area, equity in the household, money being made, race. I mean, you can dial this thing down to the nitty gritty. I concentrate on certain areas that I feel that my team and I are comfortable to invest in.
Mm-hmm. And I feel that a lot of the information probably comes from the census, right? Or just from.
No, so I pay a membership on a website, and that's where you can pull all that information. I'm not sure where they get that information from,
Okay.
but you know.
And I would imagine most of the areas that you deal with are homes that can be gutted because they're trying to get rid of these homes quick.
Some were not.
No.
Some were in excellent shape, and the homeowners just needed to either move for work, divorce, bought another home and just need to get out of this one quick. There's all types of situations and scenarios.
I remember when my husband passed away 2 years ago.
My condolences.
Thank you. And I was getting so many calls. I'm like, where are they getting my number
So
from?
they pull a list.
Yeah, so they
You
knew
can-
they passed away.
When I tell you you can pull anything, you can pull a water shut off list. That's more in the main cities, not somewhere local. You can pull credit cards. You can pull anything. Like
Dang.
this gets. I'm telling you, this is.
They call it the dark web.
No, this is not
this
dark
is not
web.
the dark web. I think this is public information
Yep,
that
it absolutely
we
is.
probably don't know how to get to. But if you have the right connect, you know, you pay for the information and you get it, and you
Yeah.
make money off it. That's
Now,
just-
I know the internet comes with
Capitalism.
classes. So what are you saying? You have to be like a class B or a class A to get this type of information?
You can get it tomorrow. You can get it in 5 minutes.
Really?
You know the websites.
So where do you get this information from? What do you ask? What do you ask?
You have to network with people to find this info. Or you have to,
So go to meetup.com.
or you have to sit on YouTube and do some homework.
I'm not getting into the real estate business, man. My business was telecommunication. I'm cool with that.
Hey, listen, I learned a lot on YouTube. I learned how to put the tile down. I learned how to change out the prongs on the back of my oven. But listen, I learned how to do a lot of stuff on YouTube. So if you do have the time, which most of us do because we spend so much time scrolling, doing nonsense, you know, and things that won't really help us elevate. If you do that, if you just spend the time to go into these sites, into these videos, you have to weed out the best ones though, right?
Mhm.
Because like you said, there are a lot of fraudulent,
Sure.
a lot of people giving fraudulent information. So.
Yep. And there's a lot of people out there with really bad intentions as well. So, believe it or not, a lot of our phone calls come from, well, I spoke to this and this person from this company, and we felt safer calling you.
Mm.
And, I don't talk bad about my competition because we all work together one way or another. But, like I said, being honest and ethical at the end of the day, I think that's the most important thing.
Well, you did say you like to build relationships with the customers, the clients.
Sure. I
Well,
still talk to some sellers that I purchased homes from last year, 2 years ago.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We'd love to hear it. So if you do want to get additional information, you can always go to PoconoCashHomeBuyers.com.
Yes.
Hey. And you'll be able to submit your information and you'll get a call back within 24 to 48 hours. Is that
Yeah.
what we're doing? All right.
Even quicker.
Even quicker?
We
Okay.
usually come out to look at the home in 24 to 48 hours.
Oh, wow. You're on it.
And I look at every home we purchase. I
Mhm.
physically go out to the property. So we used to purchase virtually, and then we purchased a home where we did no inspections, and the whole foundation wall crumbled in
mhm.
a week into the project.
Mm.
And that was a huge loss for us. That was a huge unexpected financial burden. So now I physically look at every single house that we buy. We no longer do virtual wholesaling.
What's the worst situation you've been in?
I was just going to ask that. It was actually going to
That
be
one.
Don't stay out of my head.
it was actually going to be more along the lines of, is there one that you actually went in and you said, you know what, no, we can't do this?
Oh, there was
Yeah.
many.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be the gentleman that might not tell you what you would like to hear, but at least I know it's honest. And it's not, some people think that they might hear a number that, the numbers tell the story. At the end of the day, we're still a for-profit business, and I cannot unfortunately put emotion when numbers come to play. I can help you if we have room, but unfortunately, if there is no room for help, we might find another solution. But my goal is to find a solution whether we make a profit or not, whether my route is the best, or listing the house is the best, or creative finances is the best. If one of my buyers will buy it, whatever scenario we feel for both parties is right, that's what we go for.
I like that. So you do offer options. I love the term creative financing.
Yeah.
Could mean anything.
What does that mean? Creative finance.
Creative financing. I think he described the term earlier.
Is that like an alternative truths or alternative facts or something like that?
No, I think it's more along the lines of, if he can't get it done in the way that he's going, there's going to be somebody else that may be able to assist.
Or creative financing. Like if we can't buy it cash, the owner can hold the home, we'll pay the bills, fix it, sell it.
All right.
We might buy it from the homeowner, and actually he's been paying mortgage. Now we'll pay the mortgage to him, but the house still stays in his name.
Okay.
It depends. A lot of it is scenario, what they have planned for the future. Are they gonna buy another home? Are they gonna rent? Do they need it sold? Do they need the credit to purchase another home? So a lot of it comes into play.
But there's a lot of risk in that, right?
Not necessarily.
Because how do you make sure that they actually pay the mortgage, or is that something that you actually?
We take over
okay.
all the bills.
All right. Okay.
So now they have to put their trust in us that we pay the bills. However, the agreements at our attorney office are written up in such a way where if we default on a payment, our deal is off the table. They walk away free and clear. Whatever money we invested, paid them, bills that were paid, they get to keep. So it's actually a huge risk for us,
Mhm.
but it's also a risk on them if we default.
That's right.
I'm just trying to figure out how do you make a profit off of that?
Oh, you still make a profit.
Because what happens is, and from what I understand is, if you take over the mortgage or make the payments on the mortgage for the client, once they decide to leave, if you fix up that home, you're going to fix it up to, like you said, HGTV worthy
as
So,
fast as
as
possible.
fast as possible.
To put on
It's
the
always
market.
while the homeowner is still in the home as well.
No, so they move.
They move. Okay.
Depending on, there was a situation where we worked on the property as they lived in the home.
Mhm.
But that was one. Most of the people take, if we agree, we'll give you 30,000 cash up front, and you rent your apartment, move out of state, whatever the situation is, and we're in there knocking it out ASAP and putting it on the market so we can get our funds back,
That makes sense.
because we can't invest in more properties until we get our money back.
Well, do they sign the property over to you when you start this deal?
We put a lien on the property.
Okay.
That way our interest is in it, but they actually still own the property. We've had one incident where the lady moved, we fixed the house, and then when we were getting ready to list, she said, well, you know what, I changed my mind. I don't want to sell the house because it looks so
Looks so
beautiful
good.
now.
Uh-huh.
Well, we had a lien on the property, and legal matters happen, and she was forced to sell.
Wow.
We did our part, paid all the bills, gave her money up front. We did everything we promised and everything we said we were going to do. And at the end of the day, she didn't want to move forward when everything was ready, set, and done. And
See, she must not have read the fine print.
Oh no, she read it. I think
she knew.
she knew.
Well, what did she think she was gonna do? I mean,
Well, the house was so nice at the end when we were finished. She was like, well, I'll make like $300 payments to you for the work. And unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. When you put
$300 payment.
$80,000 into a home,
How long is it gonna take her? $300.
a really, really long time.
$300 a month.
A really long
Yeah,
time.
yeah, a very long time.
So
No.
That's like another mortgage.
Yeah, for sure. That yeah, I don't think that was smart on her part. But and it takes you have to go down a long road in order to get your home back, or even for you guys to take possession of the home. Now that she didn't want to leave.
in that scenario, that was a 45-day thing.
45 days.
When we purchase, we can purchase. Right now, the biggest struggle we're having is the tax certificates are taking longer than anything.
Mhm.
So we can close in 10 business days as long as we get a tax certificate back. So, that's why I give myself a cushion when we advertise. We say we can close in 30 days or less, or to the liking of the owner, because sometimes we just purchased the house, we closed on it in May, we signed a contract in January. They needed that much time. But we tell them, hey, if the market's dropping, our purchase price can change. You know what I mean? I will, when we put an offer on the table, that offer is valid for 48 hours. We don't know what the market's going to do in a day, in 2 days, in a week. So our offer is good for 48 hours typically. When we do a long-term contract, we let them know, hey, depending on how the market rises or drops, that price could change.
Within your organization, do you have anything for like new home buyers, first time buyers? Is there any way that you have any things that you help them out with?
No, because every house that we flip, we basically list and put on the market, and then the real estate agents deal with those,
Yeah.
FHA and all the other loans and stuff.
That's awesome.
Eventually, I want to get into for sale by owner. With all the people that have really bad credit, and unfortunately the economy is not where it was. We want to be able to help out the people that have bad credit and finance them in-house. That's also on the long-term plan.
I don't know about for sale by owner, because I know that that really got a bad rap. When it comes to a lot of people going into, say, for instance, for rent to own, right? People will go into a home and they would pay rent, but the owner would not pay the mortgage. So in the end, the person had to move anyway. The renter had to move.
So they did not set that up correctly, because the way we would have it done is our money would be in escrow, and the title company or the managing company would be paying all those bills.
Okay.
So if you're a buyer that's renting and purchasing the property from a owner, I would suggest you guys have a company, third party, that's not involved with buyer or seller, that handle finances. So if the mortgage payment is not being made, that company's calling you right away and saying, hey, by the way, we just want to let you know the company you're purchasing from or individual you're purchasing from has missed payments. That way you know right away and you can take legal action. But at the end of the day, you have to make sure everything is in writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You gotta make sure everything is in writing. Yeah, right down to the fine tooth comb, and you gotta read the small print, because yeah, you can get really screwed out there.
Yeah.
So,
I did because I did hear some horror stories in regards to
Oh,
that.
You hear them all the time.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, well, again, we are at genesisradio.com. You're listening to PA Empowerment Show with your hosts, Shaquana Terry and Kendall Stevenson. The number you can call is 888-304-4401. Again, our telephone number is 888-304-4401.
all right, and young man, we'd like you to put your information up again, because we're gonna roll into this and we're gonna roll on out of here. We're not gonna drag it on. But yep. So give me your information again.
Pocono Cash Home Buyers. You can Google us at Pocono Cash Home Buyers. Website is www.poconocashhomebuyers.com. The number to reach us at is 570-300-4887. And I hope we can help some people out there that are in need.
Yep.
Or they're going to sell their home.
Well, we really appreciate you coming in. It's glad to see that you're one of the pillars in the community and that you're willing to help out. Because we do need a lot of help in this community.
That is true. And I did have one additional question. You mentioned home prices in the areas that you may be investing into. The East Stroudsburg area, it seems like home prices are going up. Rents are going up. Is this an ideal place for you to invest?
We invest in a lot of local areas. We're in East Stroudsburg, Blakesley, Mount Pocono, Albrightsville, Effort, Kunkletown, anything local. So I want to be the local investor. I don't want to be the investor that talks to you on the phone. I want to come out, take a look at the property. That's why I target a specific demographic, so I can come out, meet the owners, look at the property. So anything local to Mount Pocono, that's ideal for us.
And you're very reachable.
Very reachable. Usually we go anywhere an hour outside of the Mount Pocono area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Accessible, and you go to the homes. All right, that was my last question. Anything else?
No, I think we're about ready to wrap this up. All right, Mr. T. I think we're about ready to wrap this up. Again, my name is Kendall Stevenson, Shaquana Terry. This is the Empowerment Show on GenesisRadio.com. Again, I'd like to say peace.
And be yourself, because everyone else is taken.
And everybody else is taken. That's right.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
for coming
coming
in.
on.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you just spending some knowledge on what's going on in the community
My pleasure.
and how you can help out.